Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on today's episode we've got another day in the life of a mobile mechanic. As you can see here, I brought some brake fluid with me. I have some DOT3 on the right side. That's what I showed up with first. I assumed it wasn't DOT3, but I figured I'd check just in case. This is a nice Z4 and it does need DOT4, so I already had to run to AutoZone and back with this nice new synthetic DOT4 fluid. And I've got this vacuum bleeder that's gonna help me bleed these brakes today. The brake pedal on this Z4 has recently become spongy, and sometimes the brakes are even creeping at a stop. So it doesn't really seem like it's a brake fluid leak or probably air in the system. As far as I'm aware, there's no leaks. I've already looked everything over once. So we're gonna bleed them just to check before we send this off somewhere to get the ABS looked at. So then that should be able to vacuum. Perfect. Love this because you can also just pinch it off and leave the vacuum on. So, bleed some brakes super easy with this. Right to the brim full. A little bit higher than max, but the max is pretty full anyways. Jeez. This video is sponsored by 𝕗𝖊𝖘𝖓. I've got this 𝕗𝖊𝖘𝖓 tubing bender here. This can bend 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1/2 inch tubing. That's something like you would find on the brake lines on a vehicle. All right, so now I've got this tubing bender here. I'll show you how well it bends. Okay, I've got it set up for 1/4 inch here. There you go, perfect 180 bend. If you want one of these, check out the link in the description and the pinned comment. Works like a charm. Okay, that wire runs underneath the cap. So this cap holds that wire in place, can't forget that. Bruh, who uses a size 9? This isn't an 8mm or a 10mm. I didn't even bring a 9mm wrench with me. Alright, I'm guessing it's a 9mm then. Jeez, I have to go grab a 9mm wrench. The 3/8 drive might be a little deeper. Not really. I'm just gonna try this first. Let's see. Let that run for just a minute, make sure it sucks out all the air and tighten it back up. Do the same on all four. The fluid's pretty clean, so. All right, that's one done, not a drop spilled. Well, that doesn't take long with this vacuum, so I got these done, and now let's head across town and look at an old Subaru. Well, here we've got a cool old Subaru wagon. Apparently the fuel pump's gone out on this. The fuel pump was replaced a few years ago, and the customer just wants somebody else to do a new one, so I'm gonna go ahead and check that out. We've already got the new fuel pump right here. There's apparently like 2 manufacturers that make aftermarket pumps for this. This is the higher quality one. All right, now here's the fuel pump. The tank's back there. That's the tank. So last time I was here, the customer had that carpet pulled up in the back, and I crawled under here and double checked around the fuel tank for a pump, and I didn't see it. Well, fast forward today, I took that little top cap off and it's actually over here. So I guess I was just testing the fuel level sensor instead of the fuel pump. So I'm gonna go ahead and double check this one here. All right, so this looks like it'll be easy to service. Some 10 millimeters holding it in with a couple of bushings. Just 2 hose clamps. The one I have that's new doesn't actually have a connector built in, but if this one's bad, I'm gonna go ahead and test it with the power probe real quick. Then I'm just gonna cut these wires, and I'll just reuse these wires. I'll take it back to my house real quick and put a new connector on this. I'll show you what I mean on the new pump. But yeah, test this real quick, and I'll bring a 10 millimeter down here with me. Okay. I've got this power probe plugged in. It shouldn't matter too much what side this gets plugged into. All right, ground on. You like just put the key in the on position for me?
Yeah.
And then I might have you try and start it in a second. Okay, can you just make sure it's in neutral and try and start it?
Yeah, neutral.
Okay, let's try that one more time. I'm gonna power the pump. Try and start it again. All right. Okay, so it's not your pump.
Not the pump.
Nope. So it should have 0 ohms of resistance. So it's got over 1 ohm, 2.4 ohms. So something somewhere, maybe the fuse. Okay, well, we'll start there. Cool. Okay, so the key's right here. I don't think it's a fuse issue. This is the fuel pump fuse. We're getting just like another weird reading on it, just a little bit of voltage. So I'm guessing there's a short somewhere. All these other fuses beside it, you know, are obviously power or ground. This is the only one that's something in between. So the fuse itself should be fine. Yeah, something along the line has a short, it looks like. So, oh boy. What is this saying? 1.6 volts for? 1.6 volts. All right, so I'm back. Here's what I came up with. I have a few of these laying around. There's like a little fuse tap right here. So they're all 15 amp fuses in there basically. So I'm just going to tap into a 15 amp fuse, and we got two 15 amp fuses. I've got some sheathing, so I'm just going to tap in instead of digging up the car and finding the short. The vehicle owner wants to just get the pump running, why not? So we'll run a new wire down to that pump. The first thing I have to do is just identify something that gets power when the key's turned on and stays on. Okay, that's the fuel pump, so basically gonna become obsolete here. We'll just go ahead and take it out. Don't need that. Dang, bus fuses. All right, so I just got most of the wire sheathed. I thought it might be a little longer than 10 feet. So I bought 2 boxes of sheathing, but we'll see. Really the only good way to get into the firewall looks like it might be through this bushing there. Grommet, whatever you want to call that. So I'm gonna slide that wire past here and then close it back up. All right, there you can see it poking through that hole. Let's go grab it. Okay, here it is installed into place. Okay, that does it. I did it without jacking up the car because I don't want to. You can see that solder connector there. I used the blue wire because the original connector had a blue wire. Where is it? Make sure that's still plugged in. There you go. It had a blue and a black wire. Blue was power, so I just used blue again. If anybody ever needs to take that off, they can just heat it up. It's a little solder butt connector. And then that was the best I could do with the wire, but it is up above the bottom of the vehicle, so it won't bottom out and cut this wire. And I actually kind of got it taut, so it'll stay away from that drive shaft, kind of on the opposite side of the exhaust, so it should be fine. That's a job well done. If you like this episode, make sure you're subscribed and leave this a thumbs up. Leave a positive comment down below, and if you want to help out extra, you can donate at the links in the description. Thanks again to 𝕗𝖊𝖓 for sponsoring this video. Check out those links if you're interested, and I'll see you on the next episode of Roadside Rescue. Check out this video next. That's a job well done.